It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll see this team's veteran running back. He'll be a focal point of his offense this week. It's gonna be a good one, and it's coming up next.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Portland team entering play. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Vancouver club, even with all the games we have broadcast together over the years, partner, seems like every time we see something new and kind of get that feeling we might get something unique here in this one as well.
No two games are ever really the same, are they, Brandon? Because there's always a couple of little details, standout performances, big plays that help set each game apart. That makes every one of them entertaining to be a part of.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Here's a 2nd and 7. It's caught by Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down. From the gun, they run with Langford. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. The numbers for Langford last week, pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
Throws right side, and that's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Really talking about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Now on 4th down, out comes the field goal unit here. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the opening drive of the game yields 3. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at the veteran who will be leading them now in his 8th year in the NFL.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
Here's a 2nd and 5. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Off the play fake. Cannon. He'll buy some time right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack on offense. Sometimes you're running play
under pressure, and they got to him again. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. And they'll send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That's taken at around the 40. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their 2nd drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big pickup of 38. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Langford running right. A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they don't even need to run a 2nd down play. Give them the 1st.
And typically when we see this jumping, isn't it usually 3rd down, 4th down? They got him on 2nd down. I think that's a lack of discipline.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. They keep it on the ground with Langford. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They begin with a quick throw out left. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down. But you look at this defense. They've had their trouble stopping the run, Charles. Currently 29th in the NFL in that department.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me,
can't get away, and he's taken down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
Brings up third down.
Looking to throw. Cannon. Now they go screen. It's complete. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up fourth down.
and I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on third down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Take it at the 37. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And they will take over first and 10. And the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it first and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's complete to the rookie from Michigan. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it'll be second down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to make it third down and less than a yard. They'll try to run for the first with Langford. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. In trouble, and he's taken down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I could dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Back to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards.
And it will be first and 10 as they take over.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's second down.
15 at the 20-yard line.
In motion goes the tight end. 2nd and 15. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Here's 3rd and 9.
Brings up 3rd and 9.
Back to throw. Cannon. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up.
Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
And they bring their punter out there now as he's on here to punt it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Let's take it inside his own 40. 35 yards that time on the punt.
Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And this one nearly picked off. Well, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down.
They'll set up to throw.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go, and it's going to bring up a third down. And right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
On third down, he'll drop to throw.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's fourth down.
And on now is the punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. And this works out well as it'll kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Now they fake the jet sweep there and a run instead with Harris.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Portland football here, ready to begin the second quarter as they are looking at a second down and 6 coming up.
Off play action. Cannon. Wide open receiver complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
And this may be the one to build on right here. It's the second quarter. They've got nothing on the scoreboard as of yet. They need to put something together, and this is a good start as they get the completion there for good yardage and a first down.
The tight end in motion right. They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long.
Harris running straight ahead. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away.
Taken right around the 44. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt.
Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. but I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. This complete to Langford. And they do get this across midfield of the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. So they bring out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away.
Portland's offense now about set to take over.
It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
So they'll get nothing out of that play. And 3rd and 8 now.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. The 3rd down conversion successful. A gain of 11.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Throw left side, got to be taken in by Harris. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive.
And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down. Running right, this is Langford. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing.
On 3rd down, Woodard. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to a 1st down.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he comes back with one complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. Looking to throw. Cannon working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That one goes for 8 yards. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
They'll look to throw again, and his throw's going to be incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free, and there's another example, another incompletion.
Back to throw again. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth. And they'll send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Taken in at the 22. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth.
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. In motion, the tight end. On third down, here's Harris. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is taken at about the 14. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And that is incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. on as the punt team now as this one's sent away. And he fields it cleanly. Found good room to run there. Returns it 14 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. A 1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Cannon going to let this thing go deep for Gates. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up.
Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. They bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is taken at the 18. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Looking to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. So that'll be no better than an incompletion. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. They'll set up a throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
That's well done defensively. They get the pressure they needed on 3rd down. All the receivers are locked up tight, and they force that quarterback to just throw it away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thank you. We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Back to throw now on first down. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now second down. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Throwing middle, and it's complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down. Back to throw here. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
Looking right side, and it's intercepted.
And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
So that, Charles, may be the play that this defense has been looking for.
They've hung in there, and if they lose this game, it won't be from a lack of effort on their part. The key question is, can the offense finally do something, because we're into the third quarter, and a 0 is still glowing on the scoreboard.
Portland's offense now about set to take over. And they'll start with great field position, trying to get back into this one. It's 1st and 10 here.
Throwing to start the drive. Cannon. Gates has it over the middle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
2 yards to go, second down.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. 2nd and 2. Over the middle, it's complete. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Here's a quick throw caught out wide. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Second and 5 at the 7-yard line.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
From the gun on third down. Cannon.
He's got his target. That's complete.
Touchdown! A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
So it took them a little while, Charles, but now they have their first points of the game, and they come here in this third quarter.
And more often than not, Brandon, when that happens, you find yourself down 21, 28 points and not really with a lot of hope, but with that touchdown, they're right back in this game.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10.
They'll run with Langford to begin the drive.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's second down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
Number 30, a gain of 9 yards, and the Vancouver first down.
They'll look to throw now on first down. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. 2nd down and 8. The give to Langford up the gun. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46.
No, that wasn't an explosive run. That wasn't one that took it all the way to the house. But, boy, for a team that's had trouble running it the entire game, that's the kind of run they need, hopefully, to get themselves kick-started.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Langford up the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 45 yards rushing for him now to this point. Langford again. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
A 4-yard pickup on the play, and the Vancouver first down.
Now a handoff. It's Langford able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up 3rd and 1. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield, and if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice gain.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. That's caught at the 1. And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain. 2nd and goal from the 1. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And it's caught. Touchdown. From 3 yards out. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point splits the uprights, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Portland's offense now about set to take over. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard stripe. Gain of 9 that time on the scramble, 1 yard shy of the marker, and it brings up 4th.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
This is fielded at the 27. So a change of possession here on the punt. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Back now in the Rose City of Portland, Oregon, as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. 2nd and 1. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he's brought down. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. They'll send the tight end in motion left. On first down, he'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Past the 20. Touchdown! A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield in the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain. Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8.
Back to throw. Cannon. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down. Looking to throw. Cannon. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll send a receiver in motion left. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Caught by Gates, left side. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. From the gun on third down, Cannon. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. They'll get 34 yards there.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Cannon. That is caught at the 7-yard line. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 5 at the 7-yard line.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. On the give, this is Harris. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept him out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on him. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. That time, a 9-play drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Langford again, busy man this afternoon. And he powers his way up past the 30. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Well, the home team's offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Looking to throw. Cannon. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Now a first down carry for Harris. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and 8. Back to throw. Cannon. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Schmidt. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
He finds his man, complete. That's Schmidt. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Looking to throw. Cannon steps away to his left. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
I'll tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's McLaughlin. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 23 yards on the play. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll look to throw again. Oh, no, he lost the football. Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's second and goal. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great effort there. With his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And his guys are able to make this a close game again.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the podcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. Well, now how about this return? A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. This game has really flipped on its head. 2 unanswered touchdowns by the other side, and now they take over here with just a very slim 1-score lead.
And we've seen this how many times now? Teams get a big lead, they go into coast mode, and all of a sudden they're scrambling and battling for a win down the stretch. They've got to put something together right here, otherwise they're in danger of doing the old snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. They run with Langford. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Here's Langford. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This is Langford. And he is going to have a first down here, and that should be the one that seals a victory.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here when they're taking a knee is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win. Needed one desperately.
Well, this ball game was close throughout. Remember, it was neck and neck at intermission, neck and neck at the end, but a great job to come in here in a tough environment, Charles, and get the victory.
Yeah, tough environment indeed. How about all the people we can hear shouting from their seats right below us, partner? They weren't real happy that their team didn't keep the home field. How about how these visitors came in, calm every step of the way, even with all the pressure, and found a way to get out of here with a win.
So for Vancouver, the win keeps them barely hanging on to their playoff hopes as they move to 4-7. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Portland, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.